What's up, guys? Go ahead.
Do you have any updates on some of the injured guys like?
Yes, I
Sherman?
forgot my paper, but the guys who aren't practicing today are Sherm, Pierre, Staley, Breida. That's it. That's it.
Have you made a determination on how would you handle Breida this week?
Yes, I mean we're gonna look at him throughout the week. He's looking a lot better these last 2 days than he did on Sunday. We're definitely giving him today off. We'll see how he is tomorrow, and if he's good, we'll throw him in practice and evaluate him from there.
Kyle, I realize Pierre's been dealing with some stuff last couple of weeks, but it's been a pretty quiet season. He's up there in age. I mean, some people will say, is this the end of the road? What is your assessment of his season so far?
For Pierre?
Yeah.
Pierre is definitely someone who can help us. He has at times, and he did. He got a lot of more opportunities last year before he got hurt also. I don't think all of our guys have gotten a ton of opportunities this year, so it's been up and down with that. I was expecting him to come on pretty strong here in the recent weeks, but he's definitely been battling through some tough stuff here the last 2 weeks. So that's why he's not in there today at practice, and he'll probably be doubtful for the game this week because of that.
Is it more his shoulder or knee?
Knee. And Pierre's someone who can help us, but in order for him to be at full strength, his knee needs to heal up, and if it does, he'll have much better opportunities to help us.
What more can you guys do in practice to work on ball security? We see you out there with the swim noodles, hitting the quarterbacks in warm-up drills. What other steps can you take?
I think you're taking every step possible in those type of areas. We could have every single person carry around a football or something, like some movies and things like that. That's about all that's left. We're trying to focus on executing, doing the little things better. Try not to get into some second and long situations where you can avoid some tips and things like that, where you become one-dimensional. We have to protect the ball better with the fumbles, and it hasn't been one in particular guy. We've played with 4 backs this year, and all 4 guys have fumbled. Our defense rips it out on our guys as hard as you can in practice to the point where they hurt our guys' fingers. We feel that's as good a training as you can get. Obviously it hasn't worked so far, but we can't run away from it. We keep talking about, keep harping on it, and we just go back to work and keep trying to get better.
You've said a few times, I think Robert said it as well, that the playing time at defensive line is dependent on how these guys practice during the week.
A lot of it, yeah.
Is that frustrating to you that nobody has seized that, those opportunities yet, and it's a sort of a week-to-week basis?
Yeah, yes, you want it a slam dunk. You want it to be so easy that not just at D-line, but every position that one guy can do it all. Doesn't matter the situation, doesn't matter run, pass, down and distance. One guy can do it all, and he can do it better than everyone. And when you have that, that's the guy who gets the most opportunities. We've had inconsistencies on who those guys are. I think Buck has definitely a far lead on that. And being that guy, and the other guys have had moments, but it's a little here, a little there, and we want them to be more consistent. And you talk about roles on teams, and you always tell players that role's up to them, and you want a guy to take that role. And if someone does, that'll make things a lot easier for us.
Was Solomon on the inside a little bit more in this game, or is that?
Yes, yeah, we gave him more opportunities on the inside.
And do you guys still firmly believe that he's better there? That's been the plan, right? To have him inside a little bit more, or as often as you can?
Yes, definitely. Okay. Yeah.
How's Tarvarius Moore doing, and has there been any internal thought about trying him back at safety?
I know that he has experience at safety, but he's been doing a good job at corner for us. He's gotten better each day since going back to when he got here. He's been helping us out a lot on special teams. He's been playing at a pretty high level there, just showing his toughness. And you get a guy who can hit, but also a guy who can run and has length. So we like a lot how he's coming along at corner, and I think it's a matter of time before he'll be helping us at that position this year.
So you think maybe at some point over the second half of the season, you just throw him in there to kind of see what he has?
He has a chance to. He's earning that. It depends on how the other guys are doing and how he's doing, but he's definitely taking steps towards that.
You mentioned Jimmy Ward on the injury report.
He's not totally out of practice, but he's limited. So I think he'll do individual and things like that.
Will he do it at cornerback or at safety?
I'm not sure.
What's your
I am actually, so I'm not going to lie to you, but I can't tell you.
I understand.
And your plan going ahead for DJ Reed?
Same thing. He's first man up at safety, and he finished the game there, and he'll hop in there today.
How close is Pettis?
He's going to practice today, so that excites us. He tried to go last week at this time, but it was just a walkthrough, and you could tell through walkthrough that just us watching him and talking to him that it was too soon. So we gave him a whole nother week. He feels good. He's excited to go today. We just had a little walkthrough where there was no problem, so I know he's excited, and I'm excited to get him back out there.
What's the timetable for Marcel Harris reintegrating into everything?
He has another week before we decide on that. So he got his first week of practice last week. There's only one full speed practice, which I know he was the most frustrated guy with that because he's been eager to get out there and go, but we had to go slower last week. So he should get 3 full days in today, or this week, with 3 full practices and give us a better assessment where he is.
What type of player that he is, known as a big hitter, is he especially a guy that needs that full speed practice?
Yes, and also when you haven't, when you're coming off an Achilles and things like that, and you haven't ran very much, you got to be moving full speed to test it in some football moves and just reacting there, not in a controlled area. So he should get that in practice, whether it's with our defense or on the card team. So we'll get a lot of tape this week on him.
Kyle, just the wide receivers in general, just statistically, certainly, the production has not been there. All of them, for the most part, your top 4 have been dealing with varying degrees of injuries throughout the year. How do you look at that? Do you see potential there, and are you hoping they can finally get healthy kind of collectively in the second half to see maybe what you have?
Yeah, I see a lot of potential. I think all of our guys are NFL players and can all be used differently. But when I say NFL players, I mean they're guys who I think are capable of playing on any team. I don't know how high the ceiling is and where they can go. That's up to them, and it's up to us helping them. I think it has been tough because I feel like we've had a little bit of a different lineup almost every single game. And we haven't had much consistency with who's out there. We've had to mix and match a number of guys at different positions. Also doing that to some younger guys, which isn't totally fair to them. Asking them to do a little bit more than they're ready for. But we went through that last year too, and there were some up and downs with it. And we stuck with it, and I thought our guys got a lot better throughout the year for that and finished pretty strong. I'd like to be in a different situation this year, but it is very similar to what we went through. And our guys have been up and down. Our guys have been battling injuries. I know Pierre now is starting to take a step back with his injuries. We'll see how that goes this week, but I'm excited to get Dante back out there. And hopefully he has a healthy week of practice, and we can ease him and get him going throughout the rest of the year. It was good to get Keith back. And then the other guys, it's good to get Trent back last week. I know he missed the Green Bay game. But all those guys are battling a little bit of stuff. And the more healthy they get, the more we can keep the same 3 guys out there a little more consistently. I think the better we'll all get.
How much work has Ward gotten at safety this year before this week?
None.
All at corner?
Yeah.
Obviously, the turnovers have been an issue and a focus. On the defensive side, has consistency and staying in their assignments been also a focus?
Yes, definitely. It is every week. I think we take a step forward in that every week, but we also got to make some plays too. And so I think they go hand in hand together. If you don't get any turnovers or anything like that, and then you got to play very perfect defense, and that's tough to do through over 70 plays or whatever it is. So we challenge the guys on that every week. I think the guys are communicating much better. I think we're getting more consistent with who's out there. But also we don't have to make it so hard on ourselves too. It's a lot easier if we can make some plays and get some tips and things like that and get our hands on the ball.
Do you think Jimmy's somebody who could readjust back to a position like that after just a week of practice? And what are sort of the benchmarks during the week that you look for in a situation?
Just how comfortable they are there. There's not a lot that goes in to. I'm not trying to make it easy, but it's more of a feel back in the middle of the field. We don't run a ton of coverages, and especially for the middle third safety. So it's about where your eyes are, tracking, running, making sure you're healthy enough to do it, and also that you're comfortable back there. Jimmy, a lot of guys who go from corner to safety, they got to get adjusted to the hitting part because it's just a little bit different, the physicality of it and stuff, and that's not an issue for Jimmy at all. He has no problem with that type of stuff. So it's just giving him a few reps back in the middle of the field and something that he is used to. He got a number of it last year. He'd love to have a few weeks to do it if we did that. But you don't get off weeks.
Is there any concern with Ruben still missing a lot more tackles than he did last year?
Yes, I think Ruben's still trying to get back to where he finished last year, and he's not there yet. I think he's had times where he shows it, but his consistency needs to improve, and he knows that. I know that. he did miss his second off season for things that we all know about, which is on Ruben. And then when he got here, knowing he was going to be suspended those first 2 games, he didn't get as many reps there towards the end and things like that. So I think there's a little bit of rust to him. Not that that's an excuse. That's what he needs to do to find a way to get that rust off. And we haven't yet, but I expect him to as this year goes.
2 more, please. Throughout his career, he's had some degree of shoulder issues, whether it's just the stingers that have him down. 2 of the last 3 games he's had to leave. Is that a concern, like long term? Is it something like he might have to deal with throughout his career?
Yeah, you'd have to ask doctors more about that. I get concerned anytime something keeps happening. So yes, I obviously do get concerned, but from what I'm told, that you don't have to worry about that long term. He has got to keep himself in some less vulnerable positions, which could help. He has had some things that have scared him in these games, but he's come back and they've checked out all right. To where there's no issue, and he's been able to go by Wednesday's practice. So stuff we'll continue to monitor. We've had a few close scares with him, but nothing like he had before he got here yet.
All right.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.